I have to get the chat going. Okay. How's it go? I don't know. Wow, this is a really bad camera compared to my usual camera. It's like 10 FPS. What is even going on? Okay. Well, I am figuring out some things. You would like to have M and MM. Contains we should factor out this scaling factor so we can do 4x3 stuff, but I am in the middle of doing other things right now. I don't want to randomize the situation further. That's me. September already. What is going on? All right. Okay. So let's run that. I have this problem where non-uniform scaling is not reproducing correctly, as you see. I mean, I wish this widget weren't all like unmaterialed and stuff, but anyway, there you go. I fixed some things earlier today. But they're still kind of messed up. It's like if I go down and talk to the birds here, you'll see like their necks get weird stuff. Now that's a problem. So we're trying to deal with that. Now the problem is, I fixed one bug already in scaling, but there's another one. And the method that I had for detecting this bug was just to make sure. So there's this thing that I do to convert from, global transforms to local transforms so you can interpolate those and then switch back. And the problem is, well, that wasn't round tripping correctly locally. Like when I loaded the file and then did the conversion, you should be able to concatenate those matrices back and get something that's approximately the same as the input plus or minus numerical error. and that wasn't happening with non-uniform scale. I fixed that today, of course, off stream while I was hanging out at a coffee shop here in Austin, Texas. Now, um, well, the thing is, now that round trips when I load, and out here, I get the same result out here, I think. This line is the one that actually stores the information for animation. So I want to look a little bit more closely and make sure that this is like accounted for and stuff in the local computation, which it might not be. But aside from that, then I maybe want to do something where I dump the transform when I load it and dump it when I'm drawing it. Like pick a particular one and dump it both times and make sure the numbers come out the same. Like there's all sorts of weird things that could be happening. Like maybe the shader doesn't do non-uniform scale correctly for, so like maybe it assumes some, I doubt it, but maybe. Um, maybe our exporter messes this data up, and before I even get it, it's messed up. So the best that I could do is reproduce the messed up data. It's unclear. And so if I'm able to dump exactly the transform that we loaded later on, um, well, then I know that that is working. And then that means that the bug is outside one end or the other of this system. Now it would help tremendously to have a much better test case than these weird ones that I have where you have to kind of stare at it and not really know what's going on. Um, I've requested those. We'll see if I ever get them. Yeah. Anyway, that's the summary of what approximately is happening right now. The other thing that's happening is we are dropping frames. So that's just what happens. We are dropping frames. How's it going, everybody? Hopefully people can understand me. That we have a red light here. It's very bad. How's Austin? Austin's all right. Um, I don't know if I want to live here, but it's not the worst. It's better than San Francisco, probably. Austin is too hot. I don't mind it being really hot. And like it gets super hot, so it's been like 103, 105 in the afternoon. That's a little too hot. But as long as you've got interesting places to be when it's that hot, it's fine. And that's not the majority of the year, you know? Live in Oklahoma and it's too hot here too. Yeah. Um, so one thing is I just want to be in a nice town or small size city where it's not filled with um, you know, crazy meth addicted dudes who will stab you at a moment's notice, right? Like San Francisco is now. and who the police are too PC to arrest. Um, and then, uh, yeah, I just want a nice neighborhoods that I can go get lunch in or go to a coffee shop and that have people who are not freaked out about everything. And a bonus, it's a bonus if I'm not living in a big city in a blue state in November when Biden loses. So, uh, you know, like that's just a place that I don't want to be. So even if I haven't permanently moved by then, I will be taking a vacation during election time. Coffee shops are open for indoor stuff. Some of them are, but for coronavirus reasons, I don't really want to hang out in indoor coffee shops. But there are outdoor places that have like shade and lots of wind, or like one of them has fans with like misters attached to the fans. So like they blow mist and the fan spreads it out. Those are really good places. Come to Baltimore. No, I'm not coming to Baltimore. Have I considered spending time abroad? I have spent a great deal of time abroad. Austin is pretty blue. That's true. I'm not sure that I would want to be here at that time. I have been to Baltimore once, but I really was just in the area around the harbor there, which is like the upscale touristy area. It's not the part of Baltimore that you see on like The Wire or whatever. You've been in Madison for 2 years. I thought about Madison a little bit. Um, and then they started having riots in frickin' Madison, Wisconsin, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going there. That's just what happens when places are a little too college towny because half these rioters are like people who are still 15 mentally. Like they've only been out of college a couple years but didn't proceed developmentally in college. Madison looks really nice on the map. It's like there's like a lot of water with a little town going right between it and stuff. Louisville, Kentucky. I haven't considered that. I'll put it on my list of cities to consider. Is the remaster going to be free or discounted to current Steam owners? We have thrown around that idea and would like to do that. It just depends on what ends up being the reality of the game launch. Like, I can't really say more than that. Like, there's some cases when a business deal would prevent us from doing things that we would like to do. Like if we signed it with a publisher, for example, then the publisher would want to set pricing, and we would want them to do that, but they would actually have the ultimate decision. Stuff like that could happen. I don't want to sign it with a publisher, and we're unlikely to, but I'm just, because it's not done yet. We just have to leave scope for that kind of thing to happen. So I don't want to promise things necessarily. Melbourne. I've been to Melbourne. I liked it. I feel like going to Australia. I feel like there would be a pretty big cultural difference there for me, but maybe it would be fine. Maybe it would be fine. I don't know. Have you ever programmed for the Wii? No. I did for the Nintendo 64. Or no, not the Nintendo GameCube. Not the Wii, though. Have I been to New Zealand? I have not been to New Zealand. Victoria, BC. Canada's just not that appealing. It's hard for me to think of anything good about Canada. Canada is like the parts of the US that I'm trying to get away from, as far as I can tell, except less crowded. Singapore is definitely to be considered for sure. It's just, again, moving to Singapore is a big deal. It's kind of hard. I probably would be able to, but you can't just move to Singapore, right? You have to show them that you'll be a highly productive citizen there in some way. They have official ways that you do that. Um, but again, like I didn't grow up in Singapore culture, and so you know, eh, it's maybe not that. If I had really serious personal reasons to move, like I don't know, like I was going to get married to someone who lives in Singapore or something, that would make more sense. But like, I don't know. Right now, I really like visiting Singapore, but I don't know about living there just because I grew up in California and it's a very different place. Is World 6 partially about why I don't like New York? I mean, I wouldn't, not intentionally, but I see how you get that. Denmark's fun. All right, let's try and program some more. I've been doing questions and stuff. Okay. So we verified a minute ago when we ran this that I sort of fixed a problem that I had off stream, which is that this version of things wasn't working. This is fine. As I mentioned in this comment, I will deal with that at a later date. So what I want to do is be able to dump, like I was saying, be able to dump a specific frame and compare it. And the problem with that is that the animation system, by its very nature, interpolates between frames, right? And we don't want to interpolate between frames. So what do we do about that? Well, I had a define that I could turn on. We'll see if that still exists. Disable lerps. There we go. Where is disable lerps? So if we do disable lerps, then when we read an animation, we just pull the data from the nearest point instead of interpolating, right? And so it'll be like Quake 1 animation. There we go. Disable lerps is true. We'll put a no check in on there. So now everything should look jittery. Maybe I should make that a runtime toggle instead of a compile time toggle, but whatever. Whatever, man. That's weird. I guess that has a lot of frames to it. Oh, the frame rate of our animation is pretty high. It's like 30, I think. I was hoping we would be able to see the choppiness of it, but it's fine if we can't, I guess. Yeah, like for the witness, the animations were, oh, there we go. So when I slowed down time by a factor of 8, so like here you can't really see it. But when I slow it down, you could, especially these big turns, right? So all this is, again, we're just taking the data at the keyframes, exactly. And so since we're not interpolating, we should be able to match up to numerical error with a given input transform, which is great. Singapore has incentives for having kids. Good place to get married. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they want the white dudes moving there, stealing their Chinese women. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean that seriously, but it's always a factor, man. All right. So we're disabling this, and we want, I need to pick out a specific frame to dump, and then I need a frame to compare it against, of course. Let's do that. So when we load sampled animation, we get this G matrix. Oh wait, G matrix. What do we do with that? Oh, we might be forgetting about that. I don't even remember if we use that. We probably don't. Okay. How much does not interpolating gain in performance? It's significant for performance of the animation system because, well, I guess it depends, but like if you take interpolating and blending and all that stuff, um, that's most, like if you were just to play animations back by playing back the data from the file, it would be a lot faster than the current system because the current system does a lot of other things. What do I think of Mike Z and the Lab Zero drama? I have no idea who either of those things are. No idea. Yeah, if you're talking about a Twitter drama, Twitter is too stupid to pay attention to anymore. It's just insane. It just gets more and more stupid. It seems daily. So yeah, if it's a Twitter drama, I'm really not interested in talking about it. Okay. So what we do is we basically, let me refresh my memory of what happens. When we read X form states, let's go back and look at the file even. Our animation files look like, I don't know where they frickin' put them. This is the one we're looking at. It's a scale mesh chain. Okay, so here's a file that we're loading. Here's that G matrix thing that we were looking at. It just sort of defines the coordinate system, I guess. Here's the nodes. Here's the keyframes. Keyframes are position, orientation, and 3x3 scale shear. And my worry is, what if this is not being computed correctly by the exporter? Then we're screwed. But we load all these values. I guess we don't actually load matrices. Interestingly. Anyway, okay. We're going to make a backup of the data here. Because after we load it, we convert it to be relative to, like, each node's data becomes relative to the parent node, which obviously we should have done in the file format, but whatever. But I want to save the global data because that conversion to relative transforms is part of what may be going wrong in some way. So we're just going to say global states is also a new array, right? We need to make that happen. Like that. And then down here, um, so we're just going to copy that data that we just read. See, if you put no check in your variable name, you don't have to worry about checking it in. Yeah, temporarily, what we're doing when we play back the animation is we're just snapping to the nearest keyframe, basically. Or I guess those are called keyframes. I don't even know what the terminology, whatever. We're snapping to the nearest frame that was hand authored in the animation file. Okay. And then this is some like foot matching data that we pre-compute that we're going to ignore because that has nothing to do with whether things play back correctly, I hope. Oh, but this part, this loop is what does the relative transforms. You know, our animation data is really packed in the wrong way, honestly. For memory coherency reasons, we should pack it differently. Whoopsie. Okay. Um, okay, so this computes a bunch of things. So back in the other file, which is where we're playing this stuff back. Okay. Here, down here, we've computed our final matrix, except we don't really want this part. And in fact, we don't want this part. We just want to see this state that we've computed, right? Okay. We want to, whoops, I'm starting to type C++. We want orig state is, well, what node are we talking about? So current states is indexed by node. Right. Okay. So orig state is, we have some nodes array. I don't know what it is, but we're going to go nodes sub I dot node check-in global states sub um, the frame index, which is where the hell do we get the frame index from? We don't. See, this is the problem. Ugh. Um, the data is spread, like this animation system is sort of made so that you play a bunch of different channels, right? Um, and then they get mixed together. So by the time you get to this point, you don't have an idea of the frame index. Okay, let me find the nodes first. The nodes, well, it's on the animation, right? So, okay, we need a channel, right? And then the channel will have one of these sampled animations, right? Okay, and that's going to be anim node info sub whatever, right? And then node info is this thing that has our node. Okay, great. So we need the anim, which will be easy. So on the player, whoops, we have these channels. And for this particular thing, we know it's an object with just one channel on it. So we're not really going to worry about that. So we have the orig state. So that we need to get off the channel. We have the animation. Yeah. Just if we have this, we surely do, right? So we're going to print anim whatever, node whatever, frame whatever. I'm going to log print. This is going to be some header info. Anim.name. I frame index. We still haven't computed frame index, but we'll do that in a bit. And then we're going to say old. We just want to print the old state and the new state. Orig state is this, and then the thing that we call state is just this. It'll put a new line before all this. All right. So we do that. Okay. So the frame index is this sample index that we use right here. I don't know if we save that anywhere. So we're going to say we're going to save that out to something that's on the channel. Okay. So there we go. What? Save the file. Okay. How's it going, chat? Now you have a game that is 60% complete without the resources to complete it. As someone with as much relevant experience, how do you stay passionate about development in the face of major setbacks? You just do it. Like, okay, see, here's the thing. One of the motivating factors for me was I always wanted to be good at what I do, right? And there are many dimensions to being good at what you do, but one of them is just not quitting, right? Like if you're running a race and you're halfway through the race and everyone's getting tired, and because people are getting tired and uncomfortable, some of them quit. They're not going to win the race, right? Um, and so there's something about knowing that you're the person who doesn't quit the race that is kind of its own reward. And if you learn that, that's helpful. Or for me, for my personality, that was helpful. What are interesting languages to learn in order to understand the different paradigms? Scheme, standard ML, and C, I guess. Probably that's enough. Okay, so right now this is just going to spam, but let's just spam. It's going to spam the log a lot. Although this isn't a huge mesh if we're still booting up. Yeah. So it's still kind of interactive even though it's spamming, right? So you see we're getting all this stuff, and I'm just going to control C the program and look in the logs to see if it's just if I mess something up real bad, which is possible, or if we're getting useful output. So I control C'd it in the middle of that. Wait, what happened to the state part? I'm printing orig state. Oh, for state, I've got a pointer, so it's not printing the data. So we have to print the data. We have no idea if it matches or not. This orig state, though, uh, looks valid. I guess. We'll see. Um, if you're just getting into game engines, should you continue learning Unity or wait until this programming language comes out? Those are two very, very different things. It depends on what you want. What do you mean by getting into game engines? Do you mean building game engines? Then Unity's not really going to help you. If you mean using game engines to do things quickly, then go ahead and try to use Unity. You know? Okay. So let's look at our last one down here, for example. We've got orig state and state. They're a little bit off numerically, right? But so far the same numbers. Yeah. Okay, this actually worries me. This worries me because it means maybe we're messing up the data on export, and that's going to be painful and annoying. Also, what I could do now, the thing is, this is still not great because I don't know what bone to look at as being wrong, which is why I've requested a clearer test case from someone on the team, because then I could know what bone index to look at and say, why are these numbers different or weird? But here, I mean, it's basically the same. I can just sort of randomly look around. We can also look in the file. Let me just try this one. Node 4, frame 59. All right, so this is line. So we're comparing these. Yeah, I mean, they're the same. Started learning Unity and Unreal to help with VFX work and accidentally fell in love with the whole enchilada of game stuff. Well, I mean, that doesn't sound like a very programming specific thing. Or maybe you mean programming within the scope of those engines. But what we give out when this language is available is not really going to be the same kind of thing as what those engines are. So, you know. Yes, it'll ship with a game engine, but it's not a super general purpose game engine, right? It's an engine for a specific kind of game that you could then build into something else, but it's a much more of a, it would be much more transformative on your part, right? Whereas with Unity or Unreal or something, what you usually do is make little incremental things. Okay, so on the one hand, this is good that these numbers match. On the other hand, it kind of bums me out. I think we are messing up this data on export. Or I'm interpreting it differently than it's supposed to. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe some other people in the chat know linear algebra. I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time since I've done animation specific stuff. If you take a matrix, right, like a 4x4 affine matrix, so the last row is 0, 0, 0, 1, right, which is basically what all these are, and you decomp it using something like the polar decomp, do you actually need a 3x3 scale shear matrix, or does part of that just come out in the rotation and you just need 3 coefficients? You know what I mean? I don't think so, though. I think you need at least 7 numbers to do scale shear. Yeah, no, that has to be. That has to be the case. For an arbitrary scale shear. So the deal is I'm looking at this animation data and we only ever see one, one, two, two, and three, three set. So the scales are all diagonal, which I would believe if they were local, but these are global. These are like concatenated together. Let's see. Okay, that is not the actual exporter. It's one of these, I guess. Oh boy. Okay, well maybe it's here. Do batch. Okay. Do batch. Export prep. Okay, so that just runs some command. How many files did you need to do this? Is that like a plugin? Is that like a binary plugin? Like what? Probably. Hmm. Okay. I knew that there was some Python hanging around there, and I had thought that the actual exporter was written in Python, but that is not the case. Which means we should probably have binaries. Yeah. I guess MLL is a DLL for Maya. Okay. So where's the frickin' source for that? It's probably in the witness source code, which I probably don't even have. Oh wait, it is. Tools. Okay, so this is just compiled from there. We probably have not even changed it. All right, let's see if I am able to open this. Okay. Oh no, this is okay. This doesn't have everything. That's just the game. We want witness tools. Oh, damn it, I clicked and it said do not load the project. Hopefully I can reverse that. Okay, anyway, witness export plugin. God, this never works, dude. All right. Like, why do they even pretend that that works? All right. So this is all just going to be, this is all just spam. So load keyframe puts it in bone transforms. I can't even read in this tiny frickin' window. All right, hold on. Can I copy the file name? Copy full path. Let's try to use an actual editor on this. Okay, so bone transform. So load keyframe gets the XForm states. Okay, that's actually the place. Yeah, we're not saving the 3x3. Whoever did this, yeah, this is not good. I don't think. Although maybe it's fine. I don't. It's weird that we're writing it out as a 3x3. People are asking if there are legal repercussions to showing my own company's source code. No. But that's because I set the policy on what we show and what we don't. Do not broadcast source code of a company that you work for where you do not set that policy, because they may be very upset. However, it is true with some of our console partners, for example, they keep their APIs like trade secrets and stuff, so we can't show that. But that's not our code, right? So they call shear a different thing than scale in Maya. Matrices are post multiplied. Oh my god, dude. Everything is the transpose of what you wish it was. Okay, so this kind of sucks. I think the resolution of this is I'm gonna have to send email to people. We're gonna have to maybe we don't have to change our file format, but we do have to change our exporter. Okay. Well, that's as far as I can go on this one without doing this fix. And it may be that somebody else on the team is the best person to do the fix because he worked on the exporter last, right? If I were to do that, it might be more of a pain. So I think I'm going to clean up the no check-ins that I did and check in the fix that I did, right? Um, and then maybe we'll do some other stuff on the game. And then I'll just remind myself to send that email. Okay, so now we get to play the fun time of looking at all the no check-ins. This will leave commented out. This was just my verification code that was like, hey, let's oh boy, now I'm getting confused. Let's make sure that we can reproduce these values after we load them. What? Oh, still got no check-ins. All right, so there we're gonna go not true. Oh, these parameters that I added, which were just a way, I did that off stream, but that was just a way of knowing when to fire this debug info. And then, okay, Now I'll be sad when I want to put that back. Okay, so now everyone who calls get relative to parent is passing parameters. They don't need to. Um, okay. Well, that's fine. Make sure it still runs. All points are world space. Is that what post multiply is? No. Post multiply. Okay. In linear algebra, right, you can transform a vector by multiplying the vector by the matrix that represents that transform, right? Now, there are two mathematically valid ways to multiply a matrix by a vector. To say it's a square matrix, like a 4 by 4, and the vector is 4 by 1, uh, like in video games they often are, right? You can multiply where your 4 by 4 matrix is on the left, and then on the right you have a 1 by 4 column vector, right? Or you can have your 4 by 4 matrix on the right and a 4 by 1 row vector, or however you would say it, right? Those are the two valid result. Like the rules of matrix multiplication make those the two possible things. And the deal is you kind of just have to pick one of those. It's arbitrary which one you pick. The standard among people who know what the hell they're doing is the opposite one from what Maya picked. Maya's representation was also the default direct 3D one for a long time, where I don't know if it still is, but where vectors are row vectors, and so to transform the row vector, you put the matrix after it, right? I don't like that. I like it the other way around. But anyway, um, I can see why you might like that mentally if you were used to it. But the thing is, because the standard like everywhere is the other thing, it's like, look, just do it that way. It's the same math. It's just picking your convention. And so the deal with that is now you have to be careful, like they're showing all these matrices here, right? Um, these are, I'm going to get confused and say the wrong thing. Um, but I guess so. It's not just that you're multiplying on the left or the right, but the matrix has to be transposed from how it would be, right? Like if you just write out what the rules of multiplication are, right? You can see that to get the same result, you have to transpose the matrix. It's actually like you're also transposing the vector, right? Because the row vector becomes a column vector. That's a transpose also. Okay, so I think we can check in. I'm getting messages from people. Oh, we should play magnitudes and verify that it's playable. That's what we should do. Oh no, I have to update my working copy. What a surprise. Look at all this work people been doing. Why are my friends sending me a million messages right now? Casey has a plan for how to fix America. Boy, this update is taking a while. It's hotel Wi-Fi. Have I ever heard of have hands-on experience on Kowloon? I have no idea what that is. Never heard of it, so I cannot help you with it. Look at all these new files. We're gonna have to make sure the game still runs. Your sampled animation files. Thought we looked at one. Maybe I killed the buffer. Anyway. Do animation changes change the Bunny Hill test? No, they are separate. They should not, in principle, affect that test at all. But you never know, with computers, you can get surprised. Wow, we're pulling down. I guess it's been a while since I updated the game. Or a lot of people did big stuff. Come on. load the audio files. I bet you guys are dropping hella frames while this is happening. Oh no, we got a green light. I'm surprised. Well, I can't really do anything until this finishes, sadly. Except chat some more. Still in Visual Studio 2017. I hope never to use a Visual Studio version after 2017, ever, for all of the rest of history. Yep, I'm in a hotel in Texas. Tomorrow I'm going back to San Francisco for a little bit. There's like some mail I've got to pick up before, I live in an apartment building and they'll get mad and send stuff back if I don't pick it up after a while, which they may have already done. I should have made sure that that still compiles. We'll do that real fast. When it's at night like this. Oh, we gotta also update here. This one won't take as long. But I like Austin. I mean, it's all right. The problem is it's got mathed out homeless dudes, disproportionate to its size, just like San Francisco does. There's something about the way that these cities are being run and or the way that meth has gotten more effective that makes this stuff really bad. All right, so we still run. This is still wrong. That's okay, at least we are getting somewhere. Animations. Oh no, David. All right, animation. Okay. So we don't have versioning on this file, but we could add it and we could call the current version version 0, and if we don't detect a version stamp in the first line, then we say it's version 0. That's all I wanted to check there. That's all I wanted to check. Houston was nice. I didn't go to Houston because they were having like a hurricane or something. West, North, South Austin are all a lot nicer. I mean, I was hanging out on South Congress today and several homeless dudes wandered by in ways that were not good. So like almost like the government subsidizes them to stay homeless. Well, it's not only that, right? Like if we were just talking about people who do not have a home, that that's a solvable problem, and it's not like the problem as experienced by people who do have homes would not be nearly as bad, right? Problem is it's not just people who don't have a home, it's people who like are not all there mentally for one reason or another and seem very dangerous to be around, right? That's the problem is the potential of being attacked or harassed, right? Um, so, and I agree that these cities are being run in a way that makes that worse, but I don't think it's exactly about subsidization because people who are not all there mentally are not even going to really respond to subsidies in a normal way necessarily, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, I think conditions are created which cause more people to slide. Like if part of what you do is just keep doing way too many drugs until you have some kind of mental break, I think these cities create situations that encourage that, and it's not good. Have I watched the bats? Not this trip. I did, way back when I used to live here. A big problem is undiagnosed brain damage in veterans. Hmm, that could be. I don't know. A lot of these homeless dudes, though, are, if you mean like, you know, I would imagine that most of that would come from Vietnam era. Um, and most of the homeless people you see now are younger than that. I don't know. I have no idea what percentage of homeless people that seem crazy and violent are veterans. I would imagine it's not that high, but I don't actually know. 2001 was 19 years ago, plenty of time to become homeless. Yeah, but Iraq was not, it is just not a war in the same quantity as the prior wars were, and did not involve, well, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, so I shouldn't say that much about it, but like, like Vietnam was like bombed a lot, Korea was bombed a lot. Um, Iraq was probably bombed a lot for a couple days. I don't know, but I don't know. I wasn't there. Am I in Texas for the purposes of moving? Yeah, I'm trying to move. Um, I'm not sure I want to move here, but I'm checking it out. You could say that the homeless that do come to the food bank are not at all violent. Well, I mean, I've had run-ins with homeless people that I did not start. Um, Usually it doesn't go that way, right? But it's just like you see an obviously crazy person walking by you who, you know, is yelling or muttering to themselves angrily, like that does not feel safe, right? You have to be, if you're an intelligent person, you have to be on guard and ready to defend yourself and the people around you, regardless of whether that person is actually going to do anything, right? That's just what that situation is. Why not Seattle with Casey? Casey escaped Seattle. He no longer lives in the city of Seattle. There's also just no jobs in this country for people without education. Well, I would agree with you, except, like all the again, I'm not a pro-Trump person, but the Trump administration took a number of steps that would improve that situation, right? And they get no credit for it from the party that is supposed to be pro-working class. Right? It doesn't make any sense, right? I'm not pro either political party at this point. I think they're both full of bozos, but like the whole all the free trade stuff that was started during the Clinton era, essentially, but then continued through both Bushes, right? So I'm not saying this is one party or the other's fault exactly. It had the effect of draining jobs from the US, yes, especially jobs for people with lower levels of education. Yeah, and the results were predictable. People predicted it at the time, and it happened, right? And so reversing that is a good idea. Um, what did he do? He torpedoed the various elaborations of free trade agreements that were going to go into effect. That's one of the first things that happened in the Trump administration. Southeast Denver. Um, I kind of liked the country club neighborhood of Denver. That was all cool, but dude, downtown Denver looks bad right now. Oh my God. Downtown Denver, not a good situation. Yeah, Trans-Pacific Partnership killed that sucker. So yeah, and before coronavirus happened here, the economy was looking up for everybody pretty much across the board, and that would have been good. Uh, Unfortunately, it's not that great if you institute policies that improve the economy massively, if you're then going to ruin the economy by not handling a virus well. So it's like, what? In fact, not well is not even the right thing to say. It's completely incompetent. Every level of government is being completely incompetent about the coronavirus. It's astonishing. Okay. Why escape Seattle? Seattle is not a nice place right now. Seattle is kind of scary, and it's getting worse every year. Check out some of the master planned communities on the edges of Austin. Well, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, so I don't really have time to do that, but maybe next time. All right. So let's play magnitudes because so Zach played it and he was all confused and like, dude, what's going on with this level? And I was like, what? He was like, pointed out something that was wrong with it, and he was like, yeah, I guess that's an editing error. So I made a change to it to fix the editing error, and I want to see if it's playable now or if something else is broken as well. Why do we have no audio? Oh, because we turned it off. Dink. All right. Still have no audio. What's happening, guys? Why do we have no audio? Oh, yeah, we do have audio. Okay. There's just not very much. There's no ambiances on this level and stuff. I see. Okay, so I have to remember how to play this. Oh, yeah. There's this. Okay. Okay. So now, whoops. If I look over here, I can see this is a problem with this, like the visual communication on this map is not really that good. I need to be able to see this hole on the right better. But anyway, I need to jump over into that. So that's on this row. So this needs to come down. Bam. Let's get the wand. Block that for now. Just go zap. Whoops. Got overzealous. Zap. So the problem used to be that I was able to go to the right from here. I can't. All I could do is go left. I can't really do anything here. Can't get into that area. Okay. So I need to be up here for my next move. So this needs to be here, but we need to get this beam over. And because that needs to be in this rightmost column to be powered, these guys need to be over. And to move those guys, I need to block the purple beam. So now I can push this. All right, so this should get me further. There we go. Okay. If I do this, I'll teleport to nowhere. But put it there. Boom. All right. Well, so I need this tangler. I always do this a little differently every time. Let's get this one off the wall. Whoops. That was not the right order of operations. We do this, push that off, push that off. Okay. Kind of messed that up, but it's fine. There we go. Okay. So now we get 5 beams. And we can go out here. Can't go north, can't go south, can't go west, can go right though. 5 beams. Oh my God, this art is terrible for this. Somebody is fired. Holy shit. Not really, but like, dude, I can't see a damn thing. I'm just going to change that right now. Frickin'. So something about turning on lily pads is kind of broken, unfortunately. Oh, that's why that was there. It was so I could get back, except we don't need to get back now. I must have done that and then not realized. Yeah, okay. We can get back this way. And we'll disable this power here. And then we have more smushers. And then we can zap to get more smushers. I just like smushing all the rocks. You know? Why not? Why not smush rocks? Okay. So now we're down here. I mean, I believe I need this on the right, but oops. that's where the beam is. All right. So I forget, why is this here? This takes me back down. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Ready? Pew. I was like, wait, what do I do? Actually, no. Oh yeah, I remember. I remember what to do. I designed these puzzles. I could puzzle. Wait, that doesn't work. Oh, it's too late. This one's hard. Oops. Don't get back on. You'll go in the fire. It won't be good. Okay, this is the room that I've been meaning to redesign and that I always screw up on. Oh wait, I made it easier. I guess I made it a lot easier. So I won't actually have as much of a hard time with it, I guess. I don't know, this is the problem I always have, is saving this guy, but we'll see. So what I'm trying to do is get back into this room and queue up some more dudes. And I can easily queue up this dude and that thing, but I need the last dragon as well. Anyway. So how do I get this dude off the wall? Oh. So I get an extra object at this point, which is sort of the trick. I get this beam doodadder. I can send him through there. And I can own some dudes. Then I can get this guy off the wall. Problem is, now I can do this. Okay. Bam. Okay, that's the intended solution to that, but who knows about an actual solution? Anyway. Okay. I like this level. Good level, man. Okay, so I forget what I want to do here. I want to go ta-da! We have magnituded. All right. Great. Good job, everybody. We are going to fix one thing. Fun. That is one of the better levels that I've ever designed in my life. It's probably not the best yet, but it's good. I am happy with it. Yeah, these are bullshit right here. What the hell is going on? Why can I not color these? Just have to change the material. Sorry. Okay, it's using that one. I don't know what color to make it. Like a brownie brown. It doesn't look very good. That. See, you need to be able to read where the holes are for this puzzle to be frickin' playable. And I mean, ugh. What the hell? That's not good. So I need to send an email about that. Actually, no. I'm just gonna frickin' fix it. It just needs to be playable. That was probably moved over to eliminate that gap, but that's maybe not good. I'm just gonna shove some rock in here. All right. Good job, everybody. I think my chat is totally timed out, or everybody is not saying anything. So the twitch.tv website will not let you type comments on iPhone. It literally says use the app. They're pulling a Reddit on this. This is new. You used to be able to chat from it, I think. But they are totally pulling a Reddit now. Am I okay with excerpts posted on YouTube? You know, we've had this discussion before. I think it depends. Like if it's from people who are genuinely trying to find and curate things that are interesting and that people will appreciate positively and all that, then that's good. And that's providing a service that like I don't generally do, right? I'm too busy doing all this other stuff to do that for my own streams. So that kind of thing is fine. It's just, you know, internet culture sometimes goes the other way. In like sometimes people just want to repost everything off your Twitch channel to like, you know, just get ad hits on their YouTube channel or whatever, and that's dirty and that's not good. Um, Sometimes, you know, people are just trying to be jerks and like trying to pull things that make you look like a jerk, and that's not good. But if it's not those, right? If it's like an actual trying to be beneficial thing, then I think I'm okay with it. You know, it's still a little weird because you sort of have to act like you're on TV 100% of the time, which I definitely don't. But um, you know, stopped recently, concerned about my approval. Well, you can clip what I just said. Like, like if whoever was running that channel is doing an actual high quality thing, or not even high quality, but like is trying to do a productive thing, then I'm okay with it, right? It's just, you know, it's just if it's the other thing that it's not good. Okay, that might be everything that I want to do tonight. It's 11 p.m. almost. And I mean, that was not a very fierce programming stream, but that's okay. I need to write some emails, which I'll probably do off stream. And then um, I go to bed because tomorrow I'm driving back to Dallas to get on a plane and return my rental car, all that stuff. I don't know why I'm driving 3 hours back to Dallas instead of having changed my flight to here, but that's what I did. So I'm doing it. Am I doing something for Handmade Con in November? I mean, I don't think that's called Handmade. I think Handmade Con is Casey's thing, right? And Abner's thing is called something a little bit different, like Handmade Seattle or whatever. Um, Probably not. I just, yeah, I don't know. When am I doing a game jam? Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. All right. Thank you everybody for coming by. I'm going back to San Francisco tomorrow, and we'll probably do uh, a higher bandwidth programming stream from my home setup sometime soon. Thanks for coming by. See you later.